Well, hi, I'm Deacon Ed Schoner, president of the Association of Catholic Mental Health Ministers, and thanks for joining us today. Our topic for the webinar today is our new learning center, what's called the beta launch, which we'll explain what that's all about in a couple minutes. And I guess before I introduce my colleagues here, let's start with a prayer. And we'll start with the prayer. You can get this prayer card on our webpage. It's Christ on the Cross, and it's a series of quotes from the last three popes that we've turned into a prayer. So I would encourage you to go to our webpage and order these prayer cards. They're for free if you'd like. So in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Lord, we pray for those who have a mental illness. Christ took all human suffering on himself, even mental illness. Whoever suffers from mental illness always bears God's image and likeness in themselves. Comfort those who live with mental illness and support those who, like the Good Samaritan, soothe their spiritual wounds. Let us pray for them and their families so that they are never left alone or discriminated against, but instead are welcome and supported. Along with indispensable psychological counseling, Jesus' words also help. We bring to mind and heart, come to me all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. May people who suffer from mental illness find support and a light that opens them up to life. Amen. So it's good to be with everyone today. Along with me today is Jen Housel, who I'm sure many of you know. She's our executive director for our association. She's not too far away from me here in Pennsylvania. We're just starting to experience winter in the northeast part of the United States, so that's what we were chatting about before we got this meeting going. And also with me is Edwin Walker, who is not experiencing winter weather because he's in Mumbai, India. And I guess in Mumbai, they never do really see winter weather. So, but Edwin's here. It's it's after midnight in Mumbai, I think, Edwin. So thanks for spending or staying up so late to be with us all here today. So I guess the first thing to do would be just explain why we're doing this, why we're started in creating this learning management or learning center on our webpage. As you know, with the association, we've been at the association now. It's still brand new. I mean, certainly within the life of the church, but I think by any standard, it's still a new organization. We've been around since 2019, but it's growing rapidly. And one of our goals is to make mental health ministry broadly available throughout the United States and throughout the world, and to give people the skills and abilities to do that. And thank goodness for technology that we can do that. So we're going to be doing that through our web page, since obviously none of us can spend a whole lot of time getting to various places in person. So we can do this through the web page, and we're doing it with a series of courses on different topics. We'll be starting with what is mental health ministry and how to start a mental health ministry, and Jen will go through some of the other topics we're looking at. The idea is that it will involve good, high quality film resources. It won't be simply looking at me on a webinar like we are today, but it'll be a higher quality, more engaging series of films along with PowerPoints and a structured learning course on how you can build your skills and increase your confidence and how to offer a mental health ministry. As with everything we do, this is all about ministry and giving people the skills to build a ministry. It's not about mental health care. We will, of course, want to, as much as we can through this learning center, improve our literacy and understanding of what mental health issues is, so that if someone comes to us and discloses a mental health condition, we have an idea what schizophrenia is, for example, versus bipolar disorder, but that's not the same as being a mental health care professional. So this is all about developing our ministry skills as far as listening and be able to explain and be able to understand and support people who are living with these mental health conditions and with those who love them. So what we'll do with this course is, with all things that we try to offer through the association, it'll be broadly available. It'll be at no cost to members. that are supporting us, all the access to the films and print resources. The electronic versions of all our materials will be available in PDF and digitally available online. If you want to perhaps order hard copies of books, that might be another matter. There'd be a cost associated with that. But anything that's that we put up on our site that's digital, you can look at it and download it yourself. The other goal of this is to build a network on many of these courses. Some of the courses will be totally asynchronous, where basically you would watch them and go through them and complete the course by yourself. But many of these courses will also be interactive, where we'll network with people and have conversations back and forth about what this ministry is all about. If any of you have taken the course with San Diego through the University of San Diego, you may have experienced that a little bit. And by the way, our introduction to mental health ministry will be an upgrade, I guess you could say, or a better quality film and better quality, we think, better quality resources, because we will be upgrading and expanding what you learned on through the San Diego course. So I would say, even to those of you that maybe have taken that San Diego course, you might want to come back in at some point and refresh your memory and experience this new course that we have online. And I guess the final point I want to make is that the point of all of this, and the whole point of the association, and the point of this certainly learning center, is to equip us to be able to, through this ministry, to evangelize, to bring the love of Christ into people's lives. That's ultimately what we're doing. This is we certainly need to have a better understanding, have some academic knowledge, I guess, if you will, of all of this. But at its core, what we're doing is evangelizing and letting people and helping who live with these mental health conditions know that they're loved by Christ, that Christ is part of their life, and that the church welcomes him. And as broken and crooked as all of us can be, Christ will work through all of us to do that. And this is a very special and unique ministry that's growing within the church, and that I'm absolutely convinced Christ is using all of us in some way to welcome those who have been marginalized and excluded, or at least felt that way, and I guess in fact did experience that type of marginalization and exclusion because of their mental health conditions and mental illnesses. So all of that needs to stop. Of course, I'm preaching to the choir here. Those of you that are listening to hear, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think through this learning center, we can do that. And I'd certainly encourage you to invite other people in your parish to come into to take a look at some of the courses and think about what they would like to do. Because, like I said, it's all free, so it's will be open for business shortly, and we invite everybody to participate. So I will lend. Jen has been spending a lot of time working on this platform, hopefully to make it easy to use. But believe me, it might be that would be the outcome, that it'll be very easy to use. But it's been quite a challenge to get something like this up and running. It's not a simple process as it may look, as the finished product will make it look. But Jen's been spending a lot of time working with our technical partners and getting this up and running, as has Edwin. So I'll let you explain the Learning Center to folks here, Jen, and how they can maneuver through it and take advantage of it.
Thank you, Deacon Ed. So happy that we have Ed with us on a webinar. It's a rare treat, so appreciate your time today. And really excited to have Edwin back on. I believe this is Edwin's second webinar. And for those who were not with us in November, Edwin is our Director for Outreach and Communications and Outreach. Anyway, so glad that he's the newest member of our team, and thankful that he's part of what we're doing here at the association. So I'll just add a little bit more generally about the CMHM Learning Center. Deacon Ed mentioned in the beginning of his comments that we're in the beta testing phase. I did not know what that term meant until my teenagers started being excited about beta versions of their new favorite video games. But a beta test is basically that we're offering a product or a resource that we know is not yet perfect. It's still in the process of being created, being edited, and that's why this beta opportunity is for our Association members. You are our friends, you are our partners in this mission and ministry. And so you are invited to be our beta testers to help us get this learning center, the courses within it, to a real state of excellence so that we can share it globally. Our aim is for the end of January 2024. But for the rest of what's left of November and for all of December, we are still, and part of January, still in this beta phase, and would love for all of you to partner with us in testing our courses, giving us your feedback. That's so essential so that we can continue to edit them, make them better. So that's what we mean when we say beta course. And then just generally, as with all of our webinars, we are recording this. So if you want to share it with someone after the fact, you can share the recording. And as with all of our webinars, we will have Q&A toward the end of our session today. And something that we're hoping that you'll share with us when we get to the Q&A portion is the sorts of courses that you're hoping that we will share through the Learning Center. I will go through what's available now, what is in current development, but we hope that this will be a platform that we'll be using for years to come and that will continue to add course content over that time. And of course, we want to put up there what you want to see and what's going to be helpful for you in your ministry. All right, so all that being said, I'm going to drop into the chat for everyone a link to the Learning Center. All right, so there's that. And that will take you to the page so that you can see what it looks like. And actually, I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what it looks like directly while we are together in our webinar today. All right, so you can see that it's the same link, learn.catholicmhm.org. And as you scroll through this page, and if Edwin, you can give me a thumbs up if you're seeing the landing page. Yes, awesome. All right, so we have some about us content. What is mental health ministry? Again, those of you on our call today likely already know this answer, but we are going to use this platform to help others learn what is mental health ministry, because in speaking with people in your community, you may find that there are many people who still don't know the answer to that question. So one of the courses that is currently available is this, What is Catholic Mental Health Ministry? And it's a course that I would say lasts between 30 and 90 minutes, depending on how deeply a learner wants to dive into that course. There are videos and there are some reflection questions just to help someone who really has no idea the answer to that question to begin to come to an understanding of what we're doing when we're doing Catholic mental health ministry. The other course that is currently available is the When a Loved One Dies by Suicide. So many of you are familiar with this as one of our resources here at the association. But currently it's on a tab under a link within our general website, and many have shared with us in the year plus that I've been at the association that it can be a challenge to find a specific resource through our web pages. On the upside, because we have so many resources to share there, but we do want to make some of these particularly helpful resources much easier for people to find and to access. That's the reason why some of them are becoming courses on this learning management system, just to make it simpler, we hope, for people to access, learn from, and share these terrific mental health ministry resources. And so then, as Deacon Ed noted, the Introduction to Catholic Mental Health Ministry course, this is a different iteration of the same course offered at the University of San Diego. Dr. Wendell Callahan has been working with us in the development of this course on our Learning Center. We will have a revised and updated textbook for this course. And Sanctuary Mental Health Ministries, who did the beautiful films for the When a Loved One Dies by Suicide resources, helped us to create the films for this intro course. So they will really be beautiful, high quality films. And then also, as Deacon Ed noted, that intro course will have class discussion threads, we'll have Zoom meetups, we'll have a live facilitator who will be me, at least initially. So you will have the opportunity to interact both with a facilitator and with others who are at some point in their journey of providing mental health ministry. So those are the 3 courses we have currently. And there is some additional information as you scroll down. Also, a long section of FAQs, thanks to Edwin. He had a large part in producing those. And then for your knowledge, and Edwin, to give me the thumbs up if this follows through, because Zoom doesn't always. So when you see which courses are available, you can click on one of those. And it's going to take you, did it take us to the page where we get a description of what is Catholic Mental Health Ministry? Awesome. So then before you actually commit to a course, you'll get to learn a little bit more about what that course entails. And as Deacon Ed noted, you will need to add a course to a cart in order to enroll in it, but they're free. They're free now because we're in the beta phase. But in future, they will always be free to members, whether you have a special member code to make sure that these courses are free to you. Not to worry, members will have free access to all of the courses available. All right. So I am going to pause for a minute while I get another link to share. And then, Edwin, I wonder if you would pop on for a minute and
Sure.
talk about some of the points that you were going to cover today.
Sure. Thanks for that, Jennifer. So a couple of things that we should, as a learner, we will have to keep in mind, considering there are some important courses we have put up on the LMS. So as a mental health minister learner, some of us might be actively uh, running a ministry, or maybe you are planning to begin or start a ministry in your local parish, or maybe in your diocese. It is very, very important that we keep a track on the progress and the assignments that we have. Uh, like, for example, when I say tracking, I mean how much time are we spending on each module, or a video content that we have, or a test or reflection. It is very, very essential and very important for all of us to keep a track, because it's a journey that we are going through, which also requires a little bit of tracking. So keeping that in mind is very, very crucial. We highly recommend, and I understand like all of us are really busy, but we highly recommend our members, and we really encourage them to at least spend like 15 to 30 minutes a day, whatever is possible. Minimum at least 15 to 20 minutes have to be spent to ensure that we are continuously going on with our learning journey. Uh, with that, within the platform itself, within the LMS, we have built in an amazing discussion board, which would allow any of the learner or the user to engage in discussions, ask questions, or also collaborate with fellow learners. So active participation is something that we really encourage, so that we can learn from one another, ask questions, get answers to some of our doubts, and this platform gives you that opportunity. However, please remember that we at CMHM, we occasionally we will monitor these discussion boards just for quality purposes. Uh, Moving to the next important point, we have to also ensure that the device or the browser and the internet connection are compatible with the learning platform. Uh, there are some sites, there are some websites which are developed in a way that is compatible to the to the device browser internet connection. So we have to ensure that when we are accessing this learning platform, because it has been built on the latest technology, so probably it may not be compatible to your existing browser settings, right? So ensure that those things are being taken care, just to avoid any technical issues And in case if you have any questions, like Jennifer mentioned a while back, we have a list of FAQs that are readily available on the LMS itself, which pretty much covers most of the questions, most of the doubts, or most of the questions that we might have. So you feel free to just browse through those questions and get the answers. In case if you do not find anything, a particular problem that you might be facing, if you need any kind of assistance, any kind of support, feel free to drop us an email. I will just quickly share the email ID. Please note this email ID is specifically only to answer questions related to the Learning Center. Uh, Please do not use the current email ID that you might be using to send emails to us, which is the info ID. So I request you all to please make a note of this email ID, which is learning center at catholicmhm.org. This is the email ID you have to use if you have any questions pertaining to the LMS. Feedback are very, very important, that we get some constructive feedback. As you know, we are in the beta launch. We are in the process of building this up for our global launch. Uh, we would really, really appreciate. This is one piece we really request you to help us to improve the overall quality or the overall experience that we want to offer to our members, and in future to the other prospective members that we might be reaching out to, because your feedback would really help us to improve and better the overall experience for our users. Uh, and also, one of the things we have to also ensure that the course content comes with a time frame. It's a 90. It might be a 90-minute course. It might be maybe more than that. Please do not try to finish it within 15 minutes or 20 minutes. At this point in time, unfortunately, we do not have any limitation on that. Uh, uh, just want to let you know, every content piece that you would see on the LMS, every document, every reflection guide, uh, it consists of some important and crucial information, which might be really, really helpful for ministers like us. And so we really want to encourage, because in the past we have seen the course was hardly finished. So we really encourage you to complete the entire course with proper understanding, because we would be then going out and ministering to others. So it's very important. Like I mentioned, each video and reading material contains important details, which is essential for us when we do ministry. Uh, to maintain security in today's day and age, it's so difficult, because of the exposure of data. One of the things we want to also bring to our notice is, in order to maintain secure, please do not share your login credentials with anyone. It's your own personal login or personal login details. Please do not share it with any of your friends, family. We are just bringing this up to you because we want to ensure that our users have that security in place. In case if you have a friend or a family, or maybe your local, your fellow members from the parish or from diocese, if they are interested, lead them to the portal that we just shared, by the link to the link to the link that we just shared a while back, and they can register and they can get going with the courses. But please do not share your own credentials. And finally, very important, we will be sending you out timely updates regarding the learning platform. It might be upcoming courses, or if there are some downtime that we might be experiencing, or any other notification that might we want to send out to you. Please keep an eye on that. We might be sending you out, so please do not ignore those emails. We will not spam you. We will not send you any unnecessary emails, only emails related to LMS and any upcoming updates. These are the top 8 points I have in mind right now. And in the future, if there's anything else, we would send out an email to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. And another point that I will add in terms of not sharing your login credentials, one of the great features of the Learning Center is that if you complete a course, engage with all of the required pieces of it, at the end of that course, you will receive a certificate of completion, and that will have your name on it. So if your sister is using your username to do her course on the Learning Center, her certificate of completion is going to have your name on it. So that's not going to be very helpful to her. These certificates of completion could be helpful for your pastor so that he feels that, okay, this person has had some training and some ongoing learning in reference to Catholic mental health ministry. Perhaps your diocesan mental health ministry coordinator will want to see various courses that volunteer ministers have participated with. So it just helps lend credibility for those who might have questions. We know that this is a credible ministry. We know that we're called to it, that it's a beautiful gift to those serving within it and served by it. But some people do want to see something like a certificate of completion to have a sense of comfort and security with what we're doing. And we're happy to add that as another feature. All right, so I did drop into the chat some links that will help you to see how to create an account and enroll in a course, both a kind of a video tutorial as well as a PDF version of that guide, the step-by-step Learning Center how-to guide. We did go over our courses that are currently available in our beta launch. And then the courses in development, as we already discussed, the introduction to Catholic mental health ministry. We anticipate that being open for beta learners in early December. And this is a special invitation to you that if you would like to be part of that beta testing group, please email me separately. And I'm going to put my email address into the chat. Though most of you probably already have that, just make it easier. It's a special opportunity. We're going to limit our beta testers for that course because it is interactive. It's going to be a great gift of service if you are willing to be part of that initial cohort, since it will be in the midst of Advent and Christmas and New Year's. So I'll thank anybody ahead of time who's willing to give their attention to that during this very busy liturgical and just generally busy time of life for people. Let's see, other courses that are currently in development are the Sanctuary course for Catholics. So many of you are familiar also with this resource. And it really is optimally experienced in a live group setting. But again, if someone wanted to bring the Sanctuary course for Catholics to their community, to be a leader for that, a facilitator, it's certainly helpful for that individual to go through the course beforehand so they know what to expect. They have, prayed through it and experienced it. So the Sanctuary course for Catholics that we'll be offering in conjunction with our Learning Center will give that individual the opportunity to go through the Sanctuary course and to have some chances to reflect a little bit more deeply in the Learning Center. And again, to have that certificate of completion at the end to share with their pastor or their mental health ministry coordinator the fact that they have experience with that course and are now poised to help lead their community in it. We're going to have something a little bit different. It's going to be a course about bereavement ministry. That's going to be available on the Learning Center, I would say, in December or January. Really gifted minister, Patrick Metz, he's from the Archdiocese of Atlanta. He's been offering this training online for 5 or 10 years now. Deacon Ed and I both have some familiarity with grief and bereavement ministry and have found this to be a really wonderful, high quality course. And there is often alignment between grief ministry and mental health ministry. So that's going to be another course to look forward to. And then last of all, currently in development is a training, Listen with the Ears of the Heart. And this was the brain and heart child of one of our board members, Barbara Zahner. She's in the Diocese of San Jose in California. And it's a beautiful training in companionship, as we all know, a really important part of mental health ministry. So she and I and her partner, mental health professional Ruth, are working together to create that course. All right. That's what we already have on deck. And again, during our Q&A, we really want to hear from all of you in reference to which other types of courses will be helpful for you in your ministry. And I'm just also going to reiterate what Edwin shared with us about the feedback. At the end of every course, there will be a course feedback form. That's part of how we're going to get our feedback to make these courses better and better over time. But please feel free to email me, to email the Learning Center at Catholic MHM. Oh, I put in the wrong email address. I'm sorry. Mine should be jhousel@catholicmhm.org. Sorry about that. Email us and keep us up to date, even if you haven't completed the course yet. If you're thinking you have some great feedback, just shoot it off to us in an email at any time, and we will really eagerly accept that feedback. All right. So, Edwin, is there anything else that you would like to offer to our audience before you move on to your well-deserved night's rest?
Nothing at this moment, Jennifer.
Okay, Edwin, maybe you just want to speak to people really briefly before you head out in reference to the learning, the link tree, and then maybe our new social media channels.
Right. In a short while, I'll share one link with our members. And that particular link consists of all the details that they would like to explore, right from how to start a mental health ministry, important resources um, that are freely available on our website. So it's like a one single link which has all the information handy. So they do not really have to browse through the entire website to get that information. So I'll share that in the chat in a short while. Apart from that, we are very active on social media. And in that link tree itself, we have our social media channels links as well. We recently launched our own LinkedIn page as well. So we have our LinkedIn page, then we have our YouTube channel where we regularly post videos. And there's a lot of other important content that we keep on pushing on Instagram and on Facebook as well. So those who are not following us, just want to encourage you to follow our page. I will just share the link in a short while, through which you can messages.
All right, thank you, Edwin. All right, and I think we're going to move into our Q&A. Yeah, we are getting into the Q&A early, which was on purpose. And I also noted that people are not able to access some of the items that we put into the chat. So we'll make sure to put those into the Q&A instead so that everyone has access to those. All right, so I am going to put my email in there.
I have already answered those questions. One of the information, so I have reshared all those information.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Edwin. All right. And then I will ask, though, anybody who is in our Q&A, well, number one, to ask any questions that you have about the Learning Center, our goals for it, and then also to please add in suggestions that you have for courses that will be helpful for us to either continue continue developing or add to our list to be developed. And while we're waiting for some of those, I'll share my screen again and just show you my learner account in the learning centers, that you can kind of see what this looks like once you become, once you have an account on the platform. You can see these are my courses. I actually I have access to this course as a test user, but soon that will be available for others to join, and you'll have access to different resources. Under reports, you'll have access to certificates of completion once you have those. And let me click through and see. And then Edwin, you can give me a thumbs up if this clicks through and actually shows what the course looks like. Yes. All right, so you can see in the What is Catholic Mental Health Ministry course, there are, I don't know, maybe 10 different steps. And it's hopefully very simple that you just click. As you go through one step, you click to the next step. We'll start in the intro. And let me know if this is not showing up on your screen, but you simply say, all right, here's activity 1. And we're going to learn more, and it's going to take you into, this is just kind of a PDF with different content. Many of the different steps will take you to a video that you can watch. And then other steps will be reflection questions, journaling opportunities. So we have tried to mix things up so that there is different and interesting content as you go through any different course. All right, so in our Q&A, the tech email. So Edwin, have you dropped the Learning Center email into the Q&A yet?
Yes, I did drop down in the chat.
Okay, so I'll just add it again. Doesn't hurt to
Okay.
have that a couple of times to make sure everybody gets it. The
Sure.
Learning Center. All right. And for the beta course, what are the Zoom times that one must be present? So for the intro course, there will be 3 opportunities to take part in a Zoom meetup, we're calling it, to have that chance to interact with others who are doing mental health ministry, hoping to do mental health ministry. We are asking that all learners attend 2 of the 3 of those, a minimum of 2 of the 3. So if you have something in your life that means you can't attend one or the other, that's very understandable. We're kind of building that in. We will see who makes up each cohort. It's mostly going to depend upon time zones. And presuming it's mostly folks from the Eastern time zone, then those will probably be a weeknight evening. We'll probably aim for weeknight evenings for those Zoom meetings, just because that is when most people are able to attend. It's not going to interfere with their workday. So that's, let's see what else we have. So that was answered. Let's see. Assign courses to individuals. So it is a capability within this learning center that if someone is a diocesan mental health ministry coordinator, that we can make them basically a certain level of administrator, and then they can kind of oversee and assign different courses to the mental health ministers that are within their diocese. So that is a function that we are hoping to add in the next month or 2. If you are logging in from one of our diocesan partners, I think that could be super helpful for people that are in those positions to get a sense of who is working in mental health ministry, which courses have they had, which are yet to be completed. If you want to have some uniformity along that. All right. Have we thought about a course on mental health response during an event caused by gun violence or other community trauma? So we don't yet have that on the books. I'll make a note of it. There are some resources that exist around trauma. Mike Carrata has created that through the United States Catholic Charities. And actually, we're pretty sure that he's going to be part of our National Catholic Mental Health Ministry Conference in April of 2024. But I did make a note of that, and we will look into whether that's a course that we can handle on the Learning Center in some form or another. Okay, another question is an estimated number of hours to complete the intro course. I'm going to guess that that's going to be about 15 hours, and we're basing that somewhat on how long it takes most people to go through the University of San Diego course. As people are giving us feedback about these courses, it would be so helpful for us if you could add, this course took me about this much time to complete, because when someone clicks on one of the images tiles for a course, we'd love to be able to add to that information. This course should take approximately X amount of time to complete. It's very helpful for people when they're deciding if they want to enroll in a course. All right. And another question, time frame estimates to complete a course. There we go. Yes, thank you. We agree that having those time frame estimates to complete a course will be very helpful. So that is a component that we do plan to add once we get a little more feedback and have a better idea of what that amount of time will be. All right. I think, Edwin, if you're going to leave us a little bit early, well, thank you for being with us so late in your day and for all of your work on the Learning Center and for the ministry in general. And if there's nothing else that you want to add, we'll say good night and see you next time.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you, everyone.
All right. And then let's see, more questions. Wonderful. Has the team addressed using trigger warnings? So for instance, with the When a Loved One Dies by Suicide course, because that is very sensitive content, all of the really beautiful information that Sanctuary developed around that course is included in the Learning Center course. So people are well aware of the sensitive nature of the information included. The Sanctuary course, I'm in the process of building that course, and we as a team are currently discussing which sorts of disclaimers we may include in that course as well. Every course does have the same disclaimer information that is included on the bottom of every page of our website, that we are not counselors, we are not therapists, we are providing no clinical care, clinical treatment, that this is mental health ministry, spiritual support. So we are always have a mind to those sorts of disclaimers and potential issues. So thank you for that question. It's always important to keep in mind. A course suggestion, supporting parents and caregivers of children and youth with mental illness. That's a great course suggestion. Thank you for that. We will put, it is on our list, it's not in development, but it's on our list of future courses, is spiritual support groups. And often those spiritual support groups are for those who love someone with a mental illness, whether it's a parent or a spouse, any caregiver. So spiritual support group course will include content related to that. All right, another question. Is there a maximum amount of time to complete the course after starting it? So there is not, especially for the independent asynchronous courses. They will be on your own timeline. Obviously, we recommend that you don't let it drag out for months and months, because you may lose track of the initial content by the time you're coming to the end of the content. Now, the courses that have live facilitation and class interaction, those will be set up in more of a limited time frame. For instance, the introduction course We are anticipating that cohorts for that course will begin on the first of every 2 months, so that each cohort will go through that course in about a 2-month period. That is because those Zoom meetings will need to be scheduled, and your other classmates will want to have some idea of when they'll be starting and finishing that course. Can we link to approved other trainings? Yeah, we would love to be able to do this. We'd love to figure out a way to offer mental health first aid through the Learning Center, QPR, question, persuade, and refer through the Learning Center. That's something that we're still working with, because those folks who have created that content can be very protective of being the ones who control it. We think that's a great idea, and thank you for bringing it up. And it is something that we've talked about and would love to find a way to make it work if we can.
But just to add quickly, Jen, we do, of course, periodically offer mental health first aid online, just not through the Learning Center, which I'm guessing maybe some of you've participated in that. Been offering in English and in we've offered it once in Spanish, and I think also mental health first aid for youth. So it's outside of the Learning Center is where we've been able to offer that. QPR is a commercial. It's not expensive, but I think it's $30 to take the gatekeeper course through QPR. And we do have a link to it on our website, but yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to offer that through the Learning Center itself. We'll see.
Yes, thank you. And we will continue to offer those mental health first aid trainings as much as we're able in 2024. Someone adds that they'd like to see a course on active listening and facilitating support groups. So yes, thank you. The one course that we have in development, early development, Listen with the Ears of the Heart, is really, as you might imagine, it does focus on active listening. And then facilitating support groups, absolutely, that is definitely something that we have on deck, is facilitating small groups in general, whether it's the sanctuary course, whether it's a group going through the When a Loved One Dies by Suicide resources. And also we will have a dedicated course for facilitating a spiritual support group. Not going to promise how quickly we'll get all of this rolled out, but they are on the list. Another question, once launched, can small group courses be set up by diocesan administrators? So this is a feature that we're still learning about within the platform more generally. But as I understand it, if a diocesan coordinator has been set up as a diocesan administrator in the Learning Center, they can have some control over courses for their own particular group within their diocese. So definitely email me after the fact so that we can talk more about that. But we are in discussion with our platform developers about how we make that happen. All right. Sorry, I love it that we have so many Q&As. I hope I can even get to them all. Is the video When a Loved One Dies by Suicide appropriate for teenagers? So those resources were not developed for teens. I would say if a teen, that would be on a case-by-case basis, and I would never recommend that a teen accesses those resources on their own. If they are with an adult support person and have the ability to talk through those and process those with a trusted adult, possibly. But I would recommend that you look at the guides that go along with those resources, where they, and the guides do talk a lot about who they are appropriate for and how to make sure that they are accessed safely. Okay. Course for onboarding, a process, what to do in the first 6 to 12 months of starting a mental health ministry. All right, so that is an interesting opportunity for a course. That is something that is going to be addressed in the introduction course. I believe one of the segments, one of the films is basically titled Your First Year in Your Mental Health Ministry. But we could consider breaking that out into a smaller piece.
Yeah, that's certainly covered. That's certainly a main focus of that. How to start a ministry is how to start it. What to do in your first 6 to 12 months is a major part of it. I just want to also address this one question you might have skipped over it in the LGBTQ related stuff. Yeah, so trauma and these other related issues are addressed in these courses in various ways, touched on. Like you say, there is an overlap between mental health ministry and LGBTQ ministry. So obviously LGBTQ ministry is one thing, the mental health ministry is another thing. They're kind of separate, but there's related. So these issues of trauma and these issues of depression, suicide ideation are covered in the courses. And hopefully you might find something useful in these if you do have a separate LGBTQ ministry that you're providing yourself. You might find some of these resources helpful to you in that ministry too. Just like we hope that some of these ministries would be, or some of these resources would be helpful in a youth ministry, or you might want to use it in your ICIA program or other ministries that are going on in the parish. It doesn't have to be just used in a mental health ministry. You can use these resources and whatever other ministries you might be involved in that you're offering within your parish. So yeah, we hope it doesn't get funneled into just one group of people. We hope that these resources can be more broadly used in a number of different ministries. Mental health affects all of us in all sorts of different ways. So.
Great, thank you for answering that question, Deacon Ed. We have another question on the course sign up screen. The form requires several fields such as address, email, and phone. And how will the association use this information? So we'll use this information only in the ways that we use our current subscriber or member information, is just so that we can communicate with you about resources for mental health ministry. We never sell those lists. We never sell that data. It could be advisable to tell people how that info will be used. So I'm going to make a note of that. We can have that kind of a link available on there regarding privacy and data use. It's a good comment. All right, so thank you for that one. All right. So Margaret from Nigeria just joined today. Can we from Nigeria take the courses? Absolutely. So these courses are for mental health ministries around the world. One of the great gifts of having our newest team member, Edwin, coming from India, living in India, is that he is very familiar with and aware of particularly some of the tech challenges that come with offering things online for those in a different country. So please do take the courses, and we really would love your feedback if you have especially any technical challenges because you're logging in from a non-USA country. So yes, please do access the courses. All right, a Spanish Learning Center. Boy, that is a wish and a plan and a goal. Deacon, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, as we develop these, the ministry develops across the world. It's not just Spanish, of course. There's a number of languages, Swahili and Africa. We do have some of the resources now developed in Russian and Romanian. So yeah, we do have plans. For example, the Sanctuary course is already available in Spanish, and we have plans to develop the Introduction to Mental Health Ministry, at least have Spanish subtitles as part of it. So yeah, we'll continue to work on trying to develop these resources in a number of languages, Spanish included. But yeah, we'll continue to work on that, and quite honestly, it would depend on a large part of it would depend on our membership. What languages do they want it in? But Spanish is certainly one of the primary languages.
All right. Will a trauma-informed lens course workshop be offered? So that is something I have made a note of, and we'll see. It's always us partnering with someone who has that know-how and those skills. So again, referencing Mike Carrata, there may be a way that we can partner with him in offering that content on our learning center. So we'll see if that can be done. Oh, did you want to speak to that,
Yeah, I
Deacon?
was just going to say, we mentioned Mike Crowd a couple of times, and there are links on our page to his course. It was developed by, yeah, help me out. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the organization at
Catholic Charities.
Catholic Charities, right? Catholic Charities out of DC, and he does go around the country offering a training in person. But you can go to our webpage. You'll see a link there under other training resources on our webpage, and you can download his facilitator's guide and his participant guide. But that's a good idea. Maybe we can work with Mike to offer, this his training online, because Mike can't get to every place across the country or across the world. So thanks for the suggestion.
And I can actually add that. I'm going to just put it here. It doesn't really answer this person's question, but that is the link to that content, that trauma-informed parish content. Diocesan coordinators, I think we have about 40 dioceses who are doing mental health ministry at some level or another. They don't all have dedicated diocesan coordinators, so I don't have a firm answer to that question. And then one of our Q&A respondents pointed out that the October webinar where we had St. Thomas Parish go through how they started their mental health ministry. There was a lot of good content there in reference to their victories and their challenges in starting a mental health ministry. So might want to check out that October webinar. It's on our website under webinar resources. All right, praise the Lord. Those were a lot of great questions and answers. And forgive me if I missed yours in kind of the flurry of what came in and what we responded to. Oh, here's one I missed. Course suggestion: successfully working with parish gatekeepers and just generally creating a climate for compassion and acceptance within our parish communities, which of course is one of the goals of mental health ministry for our staff and for all of those who are in the pews, for sure.
Yeah, we have got requests to maybe do something very short for like a gatekeeper and, I guess a literal gatekeeper in one sense, the doorkeepers for the ushers and folks like that, the greeters in the church, to just do something very brief for them also. So, yeah, that's a good point. And it's like we said, it's on the list of courses. We hope maybe a year or two from now we'll have a list of like 20 courses. But
yes,
we'll get there.
All right. Okay, terrific. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today, for having interest in the Learning Center, for being part of mental health ministry. And please continue to be in touch with us with questions, with comments, with feedback, not only about the Learning Center, but what we're doing at the association and how we can serve mental health ministers better. Of course, we're all on this mission together to grow mental health ministry and just to make all of our parishes these welcoming, compassionate places for everyone who needs them, including me, including all of us. Thank you, Deacon Ed, unless you have any closing.
No, I was just looking at the last couple comments here. I don't know if you saw them from about teen training resources. I think it was more just a comment saying that they're using I think a program called Tell My Story related to teen suicide, which is great. And it's always good to know about these other resources. And I see if Anthony from Nigeria, they don't have a mental health ministry. How do we get more people to be interested in it? Well, it's good that you're here, Anthony, because maybe God's calling you to do that in Nigeria to get more people interested. If you want, you can correspond directly with us, and please do correspond directly with us, and maybe we can have a one-on-one call with you and talk through how to get something going in Nigeria. I know we have a couple members from Nigeria, I think, don't we, Jen? That's
I
I'm
believe
pretty sure
we
we
do.
do. Yeah, we have a couple other people from Nigeria, so maybe it'd be worth getting those of you from Nigeria together and on a separate call and see if we can come up with some ideas and how to start things. We are active in other parts of Africa, South Africa in particular, and we'll be Uganda, a couple other countries. So yeah, it'd be wonderful to get things organized in Nigeria too.
I'm going to drop into the chat the become a member. There was another question about how does someone access the Learning Center, and at this point during the beta phase, it's just becoming a member of the association. So hopefully everyone can access that link. And then we've added a new feature on the web page. If you're looking at our page and you're looking at the About section and you click on the contact form, there is now an opportunity to schedule a Zoom call. So for instance, this gentleman from Nigeria, if you want to have a call, not just a phone call, a Zoom call to really talk deeply about your mental health ministry, that opportunity is now a little bit more easily available. So just a heads up about that. Under contact us, under about on the website. All right, so I believe we'll just have you close us out in prayer, Deacon Ed, and we're at the
Oh,
end.
sure. I'll just use one of our prayer cards again from St. John of God. Again, these prayer cards are available for free. So in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, St. John of God, you understood and witnessed the difficulties of living with a mental illness. You lived in the darkness but found hope. You wrote, when you feel depressed, have recourse to the passion of Jesus Christ, our Lord, and his precious wounds, and you will find great consolation. Lord our God, grant courage to those for whom we pray and fill them with hope. If it is according to your divine will, grant them the recovery and cure they desire. Help them to remember that you love them and they are never alone. St. John of God, patron of those with a mental illness, pray for us. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. God bless. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Advent. We won't see you again in a webinar until the new year. So wishing everyone the best. If you had questions we didn't get to, please email us outside of the webinar and we will either connect you with a resource you're seeking or try to find an answer in one form or another. Thanks again and bye-bye.